Hi everybody, it's January 1st, which means it is a new year. So, mm, my vacation in Southern California just ended. I got back up here on the 30th. And while it was just a week and a half of a trip down there, I would say I received more hurt than I don't know, bargained for. I mean, who wants to receive hurt? But I mean, I already, in my previous video, I mentioned things about my parents. But, I gotta, maybe things are just getting back to normal because they've always been on my sister and my case about career and where we'll go in life. But there was one thing that happened that I really did not expect. And I've told a few of you who have seen my videos or have talked to me about it. But this just happened within the week. And so to start, I have this friend, and let's just call her uh, Jennifer. And we had been friends for 10 years. And I think maybe I've mentioned about this Jennifer before, that during my beginning of my transition between March and June of 2011, they kind of disappeared. And that was during a moment where, I really need support, so I was trying to call her, but she wasn't really there for me. And so after numerous times of her saying, like, I'm busy, I don't have time right now, I just kind of gave up. And to be honest, I felt angry and, kind of like holding a grudge for a while. But let's see, 2012 September, she had sent me this message on a online community, and I didn't know how to reply yet. But just this past week, I figured, hey, might as well reply. So I replied to her message from months ago. But yeah, that message came more than a year after her silence. Like, I think it was probably a year and a half that we did not talk at all. Um, then, when I replied, I was just, ready to let go of, the silence, um, and just, let her know, like, hey, I go by this name now. I prefer male pronouns. And then I pressed send, and then I thought, well, I still remember her number. Why not call? So I figured I might as well call. So I did. I didn't expect her to recognize my voice because it had been a while. I mean, the last time I saw her in person was about 3 or 2 weeks into taking testosterone, so there wasn't really any changes yet. I just had short hair and was, dressing male. I didn't even have a binder on at the time. But she knew I was transitioning, and that was the last time I saw her in person. And I remember when I was at her house, she was saying, I'm not against people, transitioning or, changing gender, but I am against homosexuality. She's been like this for a long time. She's always trying to be the best Christian she can be. And, although her beliefs have at times annoyed me, I've continued to be friends with her. I just put it past us. That's just our differences. Anyways, I decided to call her. Conversation started out all right. Like, oh, how are you doing? I haven't heard from you in a while. And while she gave me this, bogus excuse as to why she hadn't contacted me for a long time, saying, honestly, I've been so busy, like, that's why I haven't been able to call you. And she also went into this whole thing about how during the college years of our friendship that I wasn't putting in any effort into the friendship, that she was always pursuing a friendship with me, and so then it took her by surprise when I started to call her more often, and so when she said all that, I just, like, I just pushed it to the side. Okay, all right, fine, maybe I was wrong. But, when I told her that, I go by this name now, I prefer male pronouns, and she was saying, oh, well, I think I can call you by the new name, but I don't think I can call you by the male pronouns. And it really, really bothered me. And I told her, it would mean a lot to me if you could, what, what's the matter? And she told me that to address me with male pronouns, it would compromise her faith. And that just really annoyed me because here she is deciding who I am. But of course, she doesn't put it in her hands that's her deciding who I am. She said it's up to God. And because I was born female, God apparently decided that I should be female. She says that we are created the correct way from birth. And it just really, really bothered me. I told her that, while I don't want you to compromise your beliefs, I can't compromise respect for myself. And I find it disrespectful for you to continue addressing me with the wrong pronouns. And she's like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I don't know. It was just this really stupid, like, okay, I, I am in no way saying that Christianity or, any monotheistic belief is stupid. It's just the way she went about it. I really think that someone from that belief should be able to, show the proper love, no matter what I am. And besides, I think that addressing someone the way they request to be addressed is a basic, piece of human respect that everyone deserves. And I just thought it was really sad that she, it's okay if she thinks that, people transitioning is wrong. But I don't think that it she has a right to decide, what I am and, address me however, with the wrong pronouns. Like, she should respect who I say that I am. And for her to decide that I'm female still and still call me with female pronouns, even during the phone conversation, she used my old name, she used the wrong pronouns, and it was just awful. Yeah, I mean, I didn't like that she put herself on this strange pedestal of, like, well, I understand if it bothers you right now, and you can take some time, it's okay. It was this weird thing of like, I'm really, I know I'm dead set that I'm right in what I believe, and you know, because the way you're going is not the way of God. Those are the words she said, I don't think this is, the way of God. I don't appreciate being viewed as this, like, helpless lost soul that has been caught up in, I don't know, the work of the devil. I remember she said that about, me before. Um, yeah, it's just address me the way I ask to be addressed and just respect who I say that I am. You don't have any right to decide who I am. I think it's still possible to address me as male, but just maybe not be okay with transitioning. But you don't have a right to decide who I am. It's just like someone who, may be against homosexuality, but they aren't gonna invalidate or show any malicious intent to homosexuals. Maybe they're just like, I don't agree with it, but okay, you guys can go do that. I don't know. I mean, okay, I apologize if I offended anyone who is of, like, any monotheistic faith. Like, I completely respect your beliefs. It's okay. Just as long as we don't enforce things on each other or invalidate each other, it's okay. Because anyone of any religion can be a good person, and anyone of any religion, or even lack of religion, can be a bad person. It's about how we go about it and treat each other. Unfortunately, some people don't know how to show proper love, and it's just, yeah, it just really hurt me, and I don't know. I told her, maybe go seek a second opinion. Like, maybe ask someone at her church who maybe, um, might help her decide that, oh, it won't compromise your faith to address your friend with the male pronoun. I mean, I was just being optimistic. I was hoping. I don't know if I'll ever hear back, but I don't know. I contacted her, out of optimism, out of hope, but I don't know. I mean, some friends have told me that maybe this is just one of the friendships that you just gotta let go. I mean, it's been less than a week since it's happened, so it still kind of bothers me a little bit, but less so as the days have gone by. But I just, I don't know. For a friend that I've known for 10 years, she's known me for 10 years. I just really thought that she would understand me, and be there for me and support me, and that she would be able to expand her sense of love. But instead, this is like she's known I've been transitioning for a while, and I don't know. I don't know. I think her views have become more conservative over time because I remember being in person, hearing her that she wasn't against people transitioning, and now she thinks it's wrong. And I don't know. I'm just very sad about the way she's gone about it. I was really hoping for a more expansive sense of love and respect. She kept saying like, "Oh, I still love you, I still want you to be in my life," but who she wants in her life is someone who doesn't exist. Who she is thinking of that she wants in her life doesn't exist. It's a lie of me, and you aren't having me in your life if you're thinking that way. Hmm. No, it's just sad. Yeah, I mean that's all. Other than that, things with my parents got better. However, I do know that they are kind of keeping a eye on where I go in my career. Like, my dad really wants to see me become an architect, and you know, he thinks my retail job is a disgrace and a waste of time. I think I said that already. Why am I repeating it? I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know. Just, well, hopefully the new year shall bring better things and happier things, and I hope that I grow much more. I've looked back to the last 2 years and I see how much I've grown. My understanding and my tolerance for everybody's beliefs. And I remember back in the day, gosh, when I was in high school, like I used to not be very, I would guess, friendly to, um, God believing people because I was usually under the influence of my dad at the time. He would, yeah, my parents. But now I respect every belief. It's how we treat each other that really matters. I don't know. I just don't like when people start enforcing things on each other. Oh well. I mean, I really hope I didn't offend anyone with my video. It was not an intent. Okay. Um. Yeah. No offense. Intended. But yeah, thanks for listening. Oh god, this video has gone so long. Okay, bye.